If you've ever done any kind of computer programming, you know that you're putting together many different pieces of code in order to accomplish something. And the way I did that sometimes was I would imagine and I would see code, different pieces of code all coming together to create a whole. I said, if I have that piece there and that piece there and that piece there, and I put it over here to put it over there, then I might be able to get what I want to work. And when I'm doing these broadcasts, sometimes there's so many different things that I'm thinking about. It's hard to narrow down to a specific on what to actually talk about, and actually from the Bible. I've read the Bible for many years, many years. I made a vow to read the Bible, and I didn't want to read the Bible, but I made a vow, so I better keep it. I took 2 years off, and there were times I would just fall asleep reading the Bible. I said, "Oh man, it's past 12. Sorry, God, I'll do better now." I don't know how many times I fell asleep, but in all that reading of the Bible, it contextually, I have this information, and then when you in your head, and then when you start looking at current events, you start to go, "Wait a second, what's going on here? Is this a repeat of what I saw in the scriptures?" See, if history is spiritual, what do I mean by that? If history is spiritual, you have the devil on one side, you have God on the other, and you have man being influenced by both. So the same spirits that are on this earth never die. They just look for new hosts to influence with ideas and new ideas that this particular generation will follow. So generation goes to generation, goes to generation, and the same spiritual forces are at work upon them to get them to do something. The devil's goal is to kill, steal, and destroy. We know that because Jesus said so. So, and Jesus said, by their fruits you will know them. So if you are looking in the world for things that are being destroyed, or people dying, people being destroyed, whatever, you're seeing the acts of the devil. Jesus called the religious leaders children of the devil. You can look that up, because they didn't receive him, because they were breaking the law, looking for a way to kill Jesus, which was against the law. But they were justifying their breaking of the law to kill Jesus. One of the problems with leadership in this country is when they begin to justify their reasons to do things that are immoral according to the Bible. And let's take a look at one scripture here. Revelation 13:15 says, he was then permitted to give life to the statute, etc. Then the statute would be commanded that anyone refusing to worship it must die. So it looks like in Revelation, we have a one world religion based on something. So that means that all other religions have been removed. And I was listening to a program with, I was actually watching a program with Tucker Carlson and Dan Caldwell. And Dan was saying that for the past 30 years, we've had failed regime changes, and they've never worked. And from his perspective, we got to look at why they didn't work and what we need to do to change it. And it occurred to me that maybe they all worked. They worked for the purpose, the hidden purpose for which they were designed. And they were designed, the regime change, you could translate that into uh, the destruction of a religious order within that country. That's what it was about. It was not about freedom. It was not about democracy, although we were told all this. It was really to get our military in there and to destroy a country's basis religious beliefs by just wiping out the people, just destroying them. And so the lie was that we were going in there to bring democracy, but the real reason is to remove religion. There has been a war against religion from the hidden governments, the hidden government, it appears, and USAID shows that we've been funding terrorists, and these terrorists have been killing Christians. And it appears to me that the hidden government in this country is actually trying to remove religion from the world and give reasons that sound good, but the real reason is to remove religion from the world, heading us toward a one world religion that they have, that they want to put in place, that they have designed. In order to do that, they need to get rid of Christianity. They need to get rid of all the other religions. Is that what's going on in the world? I would encourage you to read through Revelation. Can you come up with scenarios on how the whole world is moved to one religion? What happened to all the other religions? Where do they go? Why did they disappear in order for this one new religion, whatever it may be, to emerge? Are we seeing forces at work behind the scenes to remove religion from the world? Kill off Christians in other countries, destroy religions in the East, like Iraq, Iran. Now President Trump is being pushed to go to war with Iran. And perhaps he's being told a regime change is needed. But the real reason behind the scenes may be this is another religious country we need to destroy. Is the Ukraine war a war to kill off the young men of two different countries that have strong religious beliefs? And the dragon, I've often wondered who the dragon is, and somebody said it might be China. It makes sense. China is one of the most unreligious countries in the world when you talk about the Chinese government. They hate Christians. And what they're doing to Christians, I won't even say right now what I think is actually happening. So it appears that religions are being attacked around the world, and China is being supported, brought in as a superpower, because it is the greatest nation in the world from a non-religious standpoint. And that's what the powers behind the scene want. They want an authoritative, non-religious system put in place. And they are willing to end a lot of lives to do it. Is that what's going on? What do you think? Have a nice night. One thing that will really give you encouragement is my pastor, Pastor Jonathan Shuttlesworth. If these are too negative, I'm trying to be truthful, but there's still hope. I was also listening to an interview with Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones, and I often wonder, Alex, where are you getting this information? Alex Jones predicted, he was the only one who predicted, according to Tucker Carlson, he's the only one who predicted the 9/11 event before it happened. He actually said that two planes would be crashing into the World Trade Center. I believe that's what he actually said, and that's what Tucker was calling it. And Tucker asked him, "How do you do it?" And Alex Jones has been interested in many different data points that he's watched over the years, and he just comes up with a formulation of what I think is actually happening. He says what is happening, and he's been right on about many things, according to Tucker. And that's an interview you might want to watch. But for hope, watch Jonathan Shuttlesworth. He's my pastor. I love watching him. He's a man of hope and faith. Talk to you later.